this other charge against Aristotle that he envisioned a hierarchical society. Again, I mean, it's an extraordinary form of context collapse, because of course hierarchies existed. They exist now, but of course they were in Aristotle's mind. They were in everybody's mind.
Right.
In a time when what we now regard as the most basic provisions of life were absent for most people.
Right.
It's an incredible thing to have done, but it goes back to what you, I think, described rightly as the certain narcissism of the current age.
Yeah.
Where we look back at the past and we scour it for things that they were thinking which we don't now think. And I suppose this comes back to the central thing of, and therefore you throw it out?
Well, the thing that's really dispiriting is this need for really not complex figures. So this idea that thinking in any way that is no longer the way we think means that you're completely disqualified. So Dostoevsky was an anti-Semite. He certainly wasn't a fan of black people. And therefore, he no longer has the other redeeming qualities of his art that we should probably still be paying attention to. He's somebody that's no longer relevant. I mean, the idea that Aristotle had to be absolutely aligned with what we believe is right think now on every question means that we can't, hold two ideas in our head at once, which is that he got a hell of a lot right, and we still basically understand drama in the way that he laid out. He may have actually justified slavery. That also wasn't really distinguishing for him at the time. No. in that part of the world.
The opposite would have been highly distinguishing.
Would have been highly distinguishing, but we still have a sense of narrative that he laid out for us. It holds up. I mean, I just find the lack of willingness to think of people as fundamentally complicated and contradictory even is a kind of sign of the moral immaturity of the current moment, and it extends to the authors of this society. They were most of them were not morally superior to their time by certain measures, but who of us is? You can play this out that in future generations, if Vladimir Putin doesn't end the game right now, future generations are going to think the things that we do that we think are quite normal with animals are monstrous. You know that's coming. You know that things that we do with the way that we treat the environment. All of these things are going to look to future generations as monstrous. Very few of us are. It's a weird thing to do, to expect everybody to be morally superior to their age.
So, by the way, it's also a slightly odd thing always, in my view, knowing some writers and being one, to expect that writers are going to be ethically more pure than other people.
Right.
Including philosophers.
Right.
I mean, it's a pleasant idea, but what you're after there is a sage or a priest, not a philosopher or a writer.
Right.
You're after the perfect ethical figure rather than the person who's just describing that.